Okay, so apparently I'm live, I think. I hope it's working. I hope you guys are there. All right, so let's get started with what I want to talk about. Welcome. Just so you know, chat in the comments if you have something to say. You can, you have to be school appropriate, basically, is all I'm saying. Hopefully the chat works. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out. I'm still waiting for more information on the AP exam. I'll get more information on April 3rd. There will be 2 FRQs. It'll be 45 minutes, or at least I'm assuming 2 FRQs in the 45 minutes. It'll cover units 1 through 7, which we've already covered in class while we were all together. The reviews have been posted on Google Classroom. So the link to the reviews, I should say. So let me show you that really fast. I think I go here. That's going to look crazy for a minute, but now you should see this. So if you look right here, the YouTube channel for AP Reviews, if you click on that, you should see all these different ones. So this is the unit that we're in right now. It seems a little crazy. I get it that they're doing Unit 8, but it's beneficial to you guys because you have the ability to see or to have review right here, including the lessons that I will be doing for the tests that we're still going to take on Unit 8. They'll have Unit 9, and then they'll have, I believe, Units 1 through 7. I can only assume. So that's going to be really good. Next, I wanted to talk about the visual. Plan to send this to me in a format that I can share with your peers. So maybe it's going to be that visual right here that we had talked about already. Where is it? Here, this visual representation that we talked about. Have it where you can scan it, send a picture of it. Maybe you do a video. You write it out. You put it on a PowerPoint. Something, some way that your peers can see what you've done, because that's a review for us of that beginning part of Unit 8 plus a grade on there for you by me. I'm saying to send this in so that we're planning, that you're planning for the whole idea of us maybe not being in school next week, which I think everyone is kind of planning for. Let me video capture. This first one is going to be terrible, I'm sure. I want to try and see if I can. Oh, there we go. It should only be 30 minutes. Hi, Blessing. Hi, Noah. Andrew. Payton is currently napping, and Nia is correct. She did. That is true, Andrew. She did say that. It wasn't exactly your words. I don't know how to do all of these things at once, to be honest. But it makes me really happy to just see all you guys coming up in the group chat. This is good. This is really sad. This is sappy of me right now. But I do miss you guys dearly. You can see my shirt, the Skip a Straw, Save a Turtle. Also, Andrew, I'm proud of you for doing the review. No, the progress check. So good job. Proud of you for that. Thank you for doing that. Next up, I want to talk about stream analysis. Nadia, I figured that. Yeah, I figured that one out. So I want to pull back up. Oh, Asia, hi. Okay, I'm going to go pull back up the capture. And I want you guys to see the stream analysis. Some of you guys have sent that in. I've given feedback on that. So on this activity, I just kind of want to go over it from that first week. So which of the sites would be downstream from a hog farm? That would be site C. Some things you could say are the nitrates are high as well as the phosphates comparatively. They are both higher. The number of macroinvertebrates, that number is low, so showing that there's not a lot of diversity. So that would be causing it to be C. And then the fecal coliform is also very high. and dissolved oxygen is low. So you could have cited any of those things for that. I want to see really fast. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you, Ariana. Can you guys just let me know if you can see the screen that I'm sharing on the video real quick? Someone just shoot me that so that I know I have done this correctly. Oh, Aiden, I'm so sorry. How are you? I got sidetracked by Andrew and his comment. Okay, I'll keep talking about this while I wait for someone's response. What would you expect the biological oxygen demand of site D to be? So because there's a high amount of macroinvertebrates, probably means that there's not a lot of organic material that needs to be broken down. And again, that's why you have it. Again, low nitrates and low phosphates, low fecal coliform, meaning there's not something to be broken down, and also the dissolved oxygen is high. So the biological oxygen demand would be low on that site. For oligotrophic, there's a few that you could pick, honestly. Any of the ones that have a moderate amount. So I would say E would be a good one because you have a decent amount of nitrates and phosphates. Your dissolved oxygen is a good point. You could also say B for those same reasons. So those would all work. You might be hearing Payton crying in the background. That might be a thing. Yes, sweet, cool. Hi Luke. Hi Roel. Oh, Payton, I'm trying to do a video. Okay, Payton's gonna come in. All right, do you want to say hi real fast? Just say hi to everybody. Who do you have?
Nobody.
No,
just
right
I.
here. I'm talking about right here. You got Anna. And you got Elsa.
Come here, Luke.
All right. Okay, can you say bye-bye? Love you. Good night. Okay. Well, I got to keep talking to him about the streams, okay?
Go check it. Oh. Come on.
All right. So on the which one that is down from the construction site would be C, because the turbidity is so high. So because the turbidity is high, that means that there's probably been a lot of erosion coming off of that. And so that's kind of the main one from downstream from a construction site. The following would have the biggest issues with the aluminum toxicity. So that goes back to when we talked about aluminum in soils and that pollution. So you would have to have a low pH. So that would be site E. Because the pH is low, meaning it's highly acidic, and that causes there to be aluminum there. For hypoxia, specifically when we're talking about hypoxia, it means a low amount of oxygen in the area. And so I would say C on here because the water temperature is the highest. And so a higher water temperature means that dissolved oxygen can't stay very well. Also, the turbidity is high. So that would not allow for a lot of sunlight and therefore a lot of oxygen to be getting in there. And those are kind of the main two for that. For the last one, which of the following is going through thermal pollution, and explain why, there's really two. Again, it could be site C. So again, you can see that the water temperature is higher. And due to the turbidity, that's going to happen because of erosion, increasing the exposure of the sunlight onto the body of water. You could also say A. Again, it's higher temperature than the other ones. And if you look at the forest canopy shade, you could argue that it's 35%, and maybe that's due to deforestation that could have caused the thermal pollution. All right, let's go back to see if you guys have any questions. All right. Sorry, guys. This is going to be during nap time. All right, the next, anybody have questions on those? Any of the stream analysis? I'll wait here for a second to see. No. I know there's a time delay, so I just want to make sure you guys have a chance to ask. For the solid waste notes, I kind of want to go over that. So I will pull those back up. Again, all of these I'm finding on Google Classroom. I did do a video on this, so I don't want to spend a ton of time. In fact, I'm going to have this over here so I can see if you guys have any questions about the solid waste that we've talked about. I'm sorry, that I did a video on already. The two laws that I have on here, the RCRA is how it's usually said, RCRA or cradle to grave. That is saying that if you have a hazardous substance that you've created, your company, that once you've created it, you have to make sure that until it's no longer a problem, it is taken care of. So you are in charge of the cleanup, you're in charge of how you've created it. There's restrictions on all that. Yes, eutrophication, Tucker. Yep, you are correct. And then CERCLA is really interesting. We've talked about, I showed you guys pictures of the Berkeley pit that was from acid mine drainage when we talked about mining. And that is a Superfund site. So under the CERCLA Act, or the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act, those Superfund sites, as they're called, are trying to be cleaned up. Now the problem is that Superfund, the amount of money is pretty much gone. So it's a struggle to have them cleaned up. I went into a little bit about e-waste. Real quick, just so if you guys haven't seen it, where does all our waste go? Landfills mainly. There's some that go into the environment. Some does get recycled. Some might get composted, but mainly people use landfills. And then paper is actually the #1 thing disposed of in our waste in the United States. Viking buck. Yeah, virtual Viking bucks. That might be a thing, you guys. So the goal here on this one is talking about we're having an integrated use of how to do this. And so a lot of these things are things that you guys could have stated in your solving a problem. Hi, Kayla. I like using more R's than they normally have. But most of them are self-explanatory, so I'm not going to cover that again. Recycling's in here. You guys are funny. All right, so here's our biomass. So to look back a little bit on energy real quick, burning solid waste is the same thing as burning coal, basically. You're just using it as a heat source to heat up water that creates pressurized steam that you would let out to turn a turbine that turns a generator that would then go out as electricity. And remember, thermal pollution is a big deal in any type of heat power plant because you have to have that cool down water that gets then cycled. So we have thermal pollution in the water. Burying solid waste is what we do in landfills, just an FYI. All right, that is that situation. And can we chill out on our live chat, please and thanks? All right, for the environmental solution, just want to pull it up and show you guys. You could pick any of those problems that we're facing. In your plan for this first part, the claim, especially from what I've noticed, and I have graded all the ones that were sent to me before today, and some of you guys need to go back and make changes, is in that claim, please make sure that you have actually stated something that would incentivize people to do things. So simply saying, you may have a great plan, okay, and I've seen a lot of great plans, but just saying what needs to be done doesn't mean that it actually will get done. So that's been a problem there on the claim. The pros and cons have been very good, advantages, disadvantages. So on the claim, you need to make sure there's something like a law, creating job positions. Again, it's a government thing. Creating subsidies for companies. There needs to be some incentive for the companies to reducing their waste or for the individual to reduce their waste. And that could be a law or an act. All right, I want to go to the wastewater because we didn't get to go to the wastewater treatment center, which I was very sad about. I'm still sad about it. But I have to make one, Nia, if you're talking about the solving a problem, that's a good question. I hadn't really thought about due dates, but to make sure you keep up with stuff, trying to get everything done by the end of the week it's assigned, that would be important. So I would say by the end of each unit that we're doing, especially if we're staying online, you need to have it done by then. Just go check, those of you who are asking questions about it. Yes, Nadia, I got yours. It worked out. I was able to grade it, and I sent an email. Asia, I think yours was fine. I think I sent you an email to that effect, but I'll have to go back if I misread it. So just double check on those. Just like in class, I just got sidetracked really quick. So, talking about wastewater treatment, sorry, let me finish the thought. For the assignments that I give you, I will try and do a better job of giving you due dates for them. For now, for this week, get the ones you didn't do during the first week, please, done first. And then the second week, I'm going to have notes tomorrow where I'll come on again, and Thursday. Please get all that done by the end of this week, and then I'll know better for the following week where we will be if we're in school or more likely out of school. All right, for the wastewater treatment center, I want you guys to kind of give me your questions in the live chat if you would. One thing I do want to say that I realized yesterday talking with neighbors 6 feet apart, they had their yard torn up, and I was asking him about it, and he gave me a ton of information, and I realized I said something incorrect to you guys. So I'm going to show you my face on this again. Up the street, they had their whole yard torn out, and I was talking about in the video, if you watched the video, I was talking about Meet the Fockers, and what happened when Jinxie flushed the toilet, or he blamed it on Jinxie. That could have been just a regular sewer system, and I didn't realize that. I thought that they were on a septic system, and that's why that would happen, but it turns out not true. So what happens is, at least for ours, I guess in our area, they were made with clay. So we have those tubes underneath the ground, the pipes basically, that are made with clay, and that's where the sewage is running to the middle of the street, and then it's going to the wastewater treatment center. And so what he said was if they had like too much paper being put down or something clogged it up, it would back up into their house. And the reason why is because it was clay and put in segments. Each place that there was a one clay pipe meeting another clay pipe, they had roots start to grow through that. And those roots made it difficult for things to flow through if they were solid. So toilet paper or anything that a child would put down there, or maybe poop, right? I can't go a single lesson without talking about that. That would get trapped in those roots and end up backing up into their house. So they had to get that all redone. So I guess that could be a thing that would have happened. However, if it happened over the whole yard, I still think it would be a septic tank, but I don't know. All right, we'll go back to the wastewater treatment center for you guys to see it. All right, let's see what questions we have. Roel, I second Nia. So there is a lot of work on Google Classroom, but it's mapped out for you like really simply. Okay, I shouldn't say a lot of work; it's some work. Tiffany, that's super interesting, and that makes a lot of sense. So you guys already knew this, but like don't flush those things down the toilet. We know that that's not a good thing, and not only to have to pay to have that redone with the pipes, but we know as a waste issue. All right, I'm going to chat a little bit about the sewage treatment. If you guys have any questions, please put that on there. I'm going to finish up here shortly. This is the last thing I really want to talk about and then wrap it up. Primary treatment is the physical process. So it's the grit chambers, and I'll go to the pictures on there. So the one that is in our the Glendale one, it's in this room and it smells terrible. But you actually see all the trash and the waste that gets taken out. It ends up going to Rumpke. The ones over here are showing the activated sludge and or in the grit chamber. They allow the sand, silt, and clay, so it would be in soil, to settle to the bottom, and they could take that and take it to farms as well. I don't think that they do that at the Glendale one. And that would be a settling tank. So they're called clarifiers, and they're used at 2 different spots. They're used after this first. It's another physical one that happens after the large stuff gets taken out. And then it happens later on. I'll show you. All right, this one right here, you can see there's extra oxygen added. This is actually the biological treatment where the microorganisms, or what's called the activated sludge, breaks it down. So remember, there's going to be a high biological oxygen demand in this situation. So it is necessary for there to be a lot more oxygen pumped in there. I put in another picture of a clarifier so you could see at the bottom. In this clarifier, the sludge would be put at the bottom here, or I'm sorry, the sludge would end up falling to the bottom, and they would be able to remove it and reuse it, put it back in the system, or it could go to as fertilizer as well. And then there can be a tertiary step, that is chemicals. At the one that they have, they do not use chemicals to get rid of the ammonia and nitrates. I believe theirs is also biological. And then this is using UV light. They can use chlorine as that last step, which just inoculates all the microorganisms living in there, like viruses and bacteria, so that they cannot regrow. And that is the wastewater treatment center that we didn't get to go to. It was a bummer. All right, let's see here. All right, so progress check. Please go and take that for the first part of Unit 8 because we've covered everything in there. And that'll kind of let me know what you guys know and what I would need to review. And then I want to talk about this week and the coming weeks. So for this week, tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the LD 50 notes and experimental design. The experimental design is going to be a practice one, so it's formative. But the formative is going to help you guys for later, and we have the time. If this continues into next week, we will be doing review sessions. There are going to be certain classes that have certain days, so I'm going to have to switch to Monday, Thursday, because that's going to be math and science. And so I will do these videos on Mondays and Thursdays. Next week, we'll do the FRQ and the multiple choice portion. They will be timed on AP Classroom. So, Andrew, yes, I know. I know. I still feel bad. I miss you guys so much. So anyways, the FRQ is going to be timed. There are ones that are put on Google Classroom. The multiple choice will also be timed. For those of you who are going to be taking the AP exam, again, we'll know more on Friday. But we'll be practicing a lot more FRQs, that's for sure. All right. I'm going to wait for another few seconds to catch up with the delay to see if you guys have any last thoughts, but that's all I got for you today. And I'll try and keep them this short. Hopefully shorter. Nia, not every teacher is going to do this. I don't think what we are being asked to do is 2 lessons a week. I'm choosing, with you guys at least, to do this live stream with notes and some type of lesson, but it might just be a videotaped thing that they post onto Google Classroom. And this one will always be posted on the YouTube channel after it airs. It takes a few minutes, but it'll be up there. Luke, we just got that information today, so you guys will get that information on Friday. So please don't stress. I just wanted to give you a heads up in terms of this class. Noah, yes, let's have the visual project due next week. That way you guys don't delay till the very end to get everything done. Yes, Nadia, let's have first week's work and this week's work due on Friday. Blessing, I'm not sure what you're asking with how thorough the notes should I be. Asia, the social distancing rule has been continued through April 30th. So I would expect we would have the same thing, but I just don't know. Any last questions before I sign off? Okay, so there's going to be an update at 2. You guys should watch the news at 2. But this is Monday, so if someone's watching this later, it's Monday, March 30th, FYI. I don't know if you guys can hear Payton talking about her hair. I do have Ed Puzzles up, Tiffany, so that can be a resource. I would almost lean more towards the AP review sessions that are up, though, instead of the Ed Puzzles, honestly. They're going to be more pointed to this, and I know that Bozeman didn't have as many good videos for this unit specifically. Yes, Noah. First week, third week will be due Friday. Yes, Roel, you can take a picture of that when you're done and send it. Remember to look at the rubric, though, guys, because there are explanations that are needed for that visual. No, I'm fine with the visual being turned in next Tuesday. So that's the 7th. Any other questions? There's only 2 notes from last week, and there's 3 notes for this current week. So at least the 2 from the previous week, Blessing, are what you should have done, and I put videos with them. All right, I'm about to hit 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go. I miss you all very, very much. I miss seeing your faces. I might try and do. Thanks, Noah. I might try and do a flip grid too at some point so I can see your faces as well. Okay? Thanks, guys. Very much. I'll see you later.